Hey guys, project-zodiac here. I'm back with another video, and as you guys can see, this is another unboxing and product review video. These are another two different head straps for the Meta Quest 3. And this is something that I'm very excited for. This is a sponsored video. It is sponsored by Sonicgrace, who provided these two headsets for me to unbox and give my full, honest, in-depth review on them. So since we're going to be reviewing two headsets in one video, I'm going to be going pretty quickly with this. Just keep in mind that all of these are my actual opinions, and I'm very excited to see how these headsets are, or head straps, sorry. So I do have the Kiwi Design Quest 3 standard head strap, and I'll be comparing it to that when we're reviewing the video. So let's just go straight into it. Let's go first with their S3 Air head strap. It's basically the same model, or not the same model, but the same kind of overall head strap as the regular Kiwi Design head strap. So there's no charging mechanism. That's going to be the S3 Pro, and we'll take a look at both. So let's go straight into the unboxing. Okay, so we got Sonicgrace S3 Air. So it's pretty cool that they call it the S3 Air model, just because, you know, the fact that it's called Air, I think is what's the most interesting thing, because it really does bring that emphasis on it being really lightweight. So that's something that I'm very excited to see, and especially since I can definitely compare it the most to this one. In case you were wondering, at the moment I do not have my Yogis VR charging head strap that I did give to my cousin, especially since I was now getting a different charging head strap. Don't need multiples of the same thing, just trying to get the best overall one. I will be getting the Kiwi Design one later on. I'm just waiting for them to do the different model number. The new version of the head strap that they released, but the single point version of it, so I can use it with the dock pretty easily. So let's just go straight in here. Sonicgrace. All right, this kind of reminds me of Bobo VR's experience. That's pretty cool. Got the logo over here. Ooh, all right, we got a little card. Yeah, this is pretty nice. A nice thank you card. Thank you guys for reaching out to me for this sponsorship. There will be an affiliate link in the description below if you guys do want these head straps. So we just got a user guide here. It's pretty easy. And all right, yeah, so far it is pretty lightweight. Pretty good materials overall, and this actually feels pretty sturdy. This is a little bit heavier than I thought it would be, the back plate, and it's pretty soft, rubbery material as well, so that's pretty cool. Again, we will be comparing this with the Kiwi Design one, because for me that's still definitely the best head strap that I've used. If you want a list of my head straps reviews, the link for them will be in the description. So yeah, this is pretty cool, pretty sturdy, very thick, kind of a silicone rubber. It's not bad. And then we've got the memory foam here for the top strap. Pretty interesting that this is actually separate from the other parts. This looks really cool. Makes me think of like a, I don't know, like a gadget. But it is also very thin. It's probably the thinnest one out of all of the ones that I had used, and that's not a bad thing necessarily. So yeah, this is definitely probably going to be the lightest head strap that I've had. So we got over here Sonicgrace S3 Air, and then very interesting clip design. It's over here. Normally it's here in the back, and this notch though, it's pretty good. It does stick out a little bit, and that is why I'm very excited for Kiwi Design's newest head strap, because they fixed this issue and did it over here. So it's a lot easier for you to lay down. of course, I wanted to get that. They did say that they're going to be releasing a single point charging version of it, so I'm waiting on that as well. But yeah, so this here is definitely a lot wider, so it's definitely going to give you a little bit more surface area to be resting your head in. But it does stick out, but not as much as the actual product image makes it seem to be. So maybe a little bit. Yeah, not bad overall. To install it, it should be pretty easy, just like all other ones. This lip part obviously goes on the top, making sure we're going with the right direction. Yep. Oh, and then there's some instructions here on the side too. Not bad. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I haven't used Sonicgrace's head straps before, so I'm really grateful that they reached out to collaborate. And yeah, this actually feels pretty sturdy. Does not really move. I mean, it's flexible, but it's not like pivoting with the clip. The clip is very sturdy. Yeah, I'm very excited for this. So that's it for this one. We'll put this separately, but it should be pretty simple. This is, I believe, the back. So yeah, we'll do this off screen, but this should be pretty simple. You just slide it through the mouth and then just close it to your preference. So that is pretty cool. And then this obviously on the other side for the head strap. All right, let's get into the Sonicgrace Pro. This is one that I'm very excited for. All right, so got some information here. Cool. So yeah, the Yogis VR one is still a very good charging head strap. I did give it to my cousin since he did need a new one, and because I was also getting this. So that's why I don't have that to compare to this one, but you guys can definitely see my review on that as well. And we've got a very big battery on the back, which kind of makes me think of Bubble VRs as well. Foam over there, same nice kind of plastic paper. It's pretty cool. And yeah, this is packaged really well. So I'm excited for this. All right, this seems to be the exact same headrest. So that's pretty good. There's some wires. This should be the same overhead strap. And then we also got another thank you card over here. Really nice. And just user guide. If anyone wants to see the user guide for later on, you guys can pause the video and take a look. But all right, so, oh wow, oh, this is actually really cool. And so we got foam over here, but when I said that this reminds me of Bubble VRs, that's because it's very similar to it. But this might actually fix my issues with Bubbles VR's battery pack situation. Again, links for that is in the description. This one here comes with some protection on this side. And this is also very, very thin. So I'm really impressed with how they were able to actually really put, you know, such a thin mechanism here. Obviously the battery is all this, but the fact that this is still so thin, that's really nice. And it does seem like because of these notches here, this doesn't stick out as much, so it's not bad. This here is attached, but you can remove it, it looks like. It's just a clip, so that's nice that it's not just a little Velcro wire. It's pretty cool. But yes, this does have the issue of the wire being connected to this. So you can't remove the wire if you don't want it dangling around. That is fine. But I did like how Yogi's VR had it as an option to actually put it in or remove. So, but yeah, I'm still excited to see how this will function and work. So we just slide these off. And yeah, overall, I'm pretty impressed with this. Let's just quickly slide this on. We're not going to do the top strap. I'll do that one for sure off screen. But it's so satisfying how these just click in. And I'm sorry if I'm rushing through it. This video is definitely going to be a little bit long. I'm going to spend a couple of days definitely testing these out for sure. But mostly the battery head strap rather than the regular one. But yeah, so this should be pretty simple. We've got some prongs here that will connect over here. And then, so yes, this is a 8,000 milliamp hour battery. So that is pretty interesting. And yeah, it just connects with some magnets. So nice. And now then this, and it already comes fully charged. And now this should, all right, well, this is already a lot heavier. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see the weight with the head strap, with the actual Quest 3 on it. But what I do like about this is that it does give you this nice smooth back. So that way you can definitely rest your head. And that is something that I'm very excited for. And then the notch gets covered over here, but you can still move it to extend the arms. So I'm very excited for this because there's nothing really getting in the way of you resting your head comfortably. And of course, if you don't want to use this, or if you want to change it later, you should be able to if they do sell more of these, like just the battery itself. And if you want no weight, then you can wear it very comfortably like that. But yeah, I'm very excited for this. I'm going to give my full in-depth review in the second half of this video, so definitely watch that. I will also definitely be talking about the regular S3 Air as well, and definitely comparing that as well to the Kiwi Design head strap. But this is already like, I'm just already so impressed with this. This is really well done. It's so thin and so lightweight as well. Yes, the battery is a much bigger thing, but I'm very excited to see how it's going to be, because Bubbles VR was just a brick that would, pull your whole head backwards, whereas this here is more spread out. So it might still have that function, but because it's so spread out, once you have the Quest 3 here as well, it could actually even it out. So I'm very, very excited for that for sure. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes, but for me, it's going to be in a few days. All right, let's go into the review portion. All right, guys, I'm back now with my in-depth review on the Sonicgrace S3 Air. And this one is really interesting for me. So I don't really have a lot of bad things to say about this. In fact, the bad things I have to say about it is mostly nitpicks. And the reason for that is because this particular head strap for Sonicgrace for the Quest 3, it's amazing. It's honestly probably, I want to say it's better than the Kiwi Design one. But the reason why I can't is because of one actual big complaint that I have with it. But I'll save that for the ending of this section. I have like 3 complaints with it overall. I just remembered another one. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. This is just the Air, because I still have to spend some time testing out the Pro, which is the battery. So you'll see that in the next segment. But for this, I'm just going to say that this is so comfortable and it feels so light. The fact that they call this Air, it literally feels like that. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of pressure on my head. And when I put this on, it just feels like it's hugging my head in the perfect way. It's just so comfortable. Like, this is probably a lot. I don't want to say a lot more, but this is definitely like maybe 5 to 10%, maybe 20% actually, more comfortable than the Kiwi Design one because of the way that this just hugs on the back of my head. And that's really interesting. Again, if you guys have seen my other reviews for these head straps for the Quest 3, you guys will see that the Kiwi Design one is my favorite out of all of them. It's so comfortable. But when you put this on, it definitely is a huge difference. This just is like a glove. It's literally just like it's made for the back of my head. It's so comfortable. And I do have a slightly smaller head, so maybe that could be why. Because this is definitely a smaller headrest compared to Kiwi Designs. And also it is a lot shorter. And we'll get to that because that's actually something very important and it leads into one of my complaints. But because of how short it is, I think that Bubble VR's one also was a little bit shorter, but it didn't hug the back of my head very comfortably at all. So I think it's just the way that the format for this is that just works so good. I do also like the overhead strap and how you can position it with the two Velcro straps, so that's more comfortable for you. That's actually really cool. It does get some getting used to really find the right spot for you because now you're adjusting two straps instead of just one, compared to like with the Kiwi Design one. But when you get it right, it just works so well. And that's why I'm saying like this just feels so comfortable. Now, one thing that I do also want to say is part of that comfort is because of the lightness of it. This is definitely so much lighter than the Kiwi Design one. Again, I love the Kiwi Design one. I'm going to say that this Sonicgrace is tied with Kiwi Design's one. And the only reason why it's tied and not better is for something I'm going to get into with my complaints. So yeah, overall, it's just so comfortable. And I'll put it on so that you can see what I mean. But because it's so light, you would think that it's going to put a lot of pressure on the front of your head. It doesn't. The way that this just cups the back of your head, it really gives it kind of like a counterbalance to this because of the way that it's literally at the bottom of your head, keeping position rather than going all the way down a little bit further like the Kiwi Design one and the other ones do. So I don't know, for me, comfort wise, this is better than the Kiwi Design one. It's lighter, I'm able to move around more. It's just so good. I also do like that it has the adjustment knob. Okay, 4 complaints. But this one's more of a nitpick. The adjustment knob, as you can see, is over here instead of over here like Kiwi Designs. And it's also a little bit shorter because this particular head strap, I actually have to keep it shorter compared to Kiwi's Design where I got to keep it a little bit further away, which is really interesting. But that does mean that this particular notch here does get positioned in a more interesting higher position for me compared to Kiwi Designs, where with this, I'm positioning it a little bit more like that. And for Sonicgrace, I'm positioning it a little bit more like this. So it's definitely a huge difference when you position the angles, as you can see there. So that is also, even though it's a nitpick, it's more a nitpick, not a complaint. It's mostly just because that is how it best comforts my head. And it does kind of shock me when I look at it and I see just how like close to the facial interface this is. But it is very comfortable. It doesn't really put strain on my head or anything like that. Another fantastic thing that I love about this is definitely this section, because as I said, one of my complaints with the Kiwi Design original Quest 3 one, I gotta get the new version, which I'm really excited for. I think they're releasing the charging version for that soon for their stand. But yeah, this, it's not very comfortable if you're laying down. This, because it's a lot flatter and wider, it does give you a lot of comfort. I still wish it was just flush instead of sticking out, but this is the best notch that sticks out that I've used for one of these head straps, so it's fantastic. But yeah, I'll put it on and I'll quickly just explain to you how it is with it on. Just my complaints real quick. You have Sonicgrace here on the side. I don't like that so much. I wish they could have just done kind of what Kiwi Design did, which is they just put their logo right over here. So you're not really seeing it, it's not really in the way, and it blends more with the head strap. Another minor complaint is I don't like how this sticks out a lot more. That's just me being nitpicky with those two things. It's nothing bad about the head strap itself, it's just me being nitpicky. But there is actually one big issue with this, and I'll explain that in a minute. Just actually, you know what? I want to put this on and in a minute. So my actual complaint with this particular head strap is, yeah, that it just it's perfect for sitting down and resting kind of games or more casual games. But when you're playing more active games such as Beat Saber, or if you're working out with Supernatural, for me at least, I noticed that this is not the best head strap for that. Honestly, I kind of prefer the Kiwi Design one for more intensive, like heavy movement games. And the reason why I say that is because I had noticed that when I'm moving around a lot more, and maybe it's just because my hair is just very smooth, that would make this particular part kind of slide a little bit. And then my vision would start going with the headset would start going down. So then I would need to reposition it and tighten it more. But then the more I tighten it, the more pressure I start getting over here, because I have to tighten it a lot so that it's not sliding down. So that is one issue out of two actual big issues. I know I said I had 4 complaints. The 2 of them are nitpicks. It was this, or 3 of them, this part and the logo. Those are nitpicks. Actual complaint is just 2. So for that is why I can't really say that this one is better than the Kiwi Design, because the Kiwi Design is good for all of those elements. But again, that could just be because of my head shape and also how smooth my hair is and how the texture of this is as well. In regards to the second complaint though, but yeah, so for that, it's perfect for everything else except for a lot of high intensity games, unless you really tighten it, but then it becomes a little uncomfortable. But everything else, this particular head strap from Sonicgrace is amazing and probably better than the Kiwi Design one. But the Kiwi Design one at least allows me to be working out and playing more intensive games without having to readjust it or tighten it so much. But now the second complaint that I have about the Sonicgrace S3 Air is because of how lowered this is. It's good for my head, but it's not so good for the Kiwi Design charging head strap, or sorry, charging dock, because this notch over here, as you guys can see right there, that you gotta fiddle around with it, and then you gotta make sure that this is completely straight, otherwise it's just gonna have a hard time connecting with it. That's more of a nitpick, and it's a different company's, you know, product. It works though, it's just a little tricky to, it's not even a little tricky, it's just you gotta really position it in a specific way to make sure it's gonna work, and I'll show you that right now. So let's just go over there real quick. So as you can see over here, this is fully rested and straight. However, it's not there because of this being too low, so it's not gonna keep it up in the position that it needs to be in order for the charger to connect properly. You can still make it work, and I'll show you what I mean right now. So as you can see, it's just resting right there, and it is fully working. You just gotta really position it. It takes like 3 seconds to make sure it's in the right place. It's not a big deal. it is just something that I noticed, because this section here is definitely a lot lower than Kiwi Designs. But now let's just go and put this on real quick. Okay, so we're back now. I just want to show you guys what I mean about this being so easy to put on, especially for me. So see, and it just fits in. I didn't even really need to do anything. As you can see, it just cups the back of my head, and my hair is in my way. Okay, that's better. And it just stays so perfectly. It's just so cozy. Sorry, I was using it for working out, so I actually had to unloosen it a little bit to put it there to charge. I unloosed it a little too much because it was too tight for me to work out a bit with it. But yeah, when it's like this, it's so good. I feel like there's nothing really on the back of my head, squeezing the back of my head. Yes, you do feel a little bit of the weight here, but it just, the way it's like cupped up, it just feels so more natural than with Kiwi Designs. This one definitely just feels a lot more easy and a lot more calmer on a general basis. I'm actually gonna put on the Kiwi Design one really quick, and then I will explain exactly what, just the difference of it is, and then I'll just give my thoughts on the battery version of the S3, so the S3 Pro. So yeah, I'm excited for this one. Gotta use it for a few days, but all right, let's just put on the Kiwi Design one and we'll see how this is. All right, I got the Kiwi Design one back on. Let's just quickly put that. Okay. All right, so yeah, this one is still very, very comfortable, but it just feels so thick back here compared to that. And it is definitely comfortable. I'm not saying it's not. It's just, it makes my head feel a lot more tight. Whereas with the Sonicgrace one, it feels natural, and I love that. So them calling it Sonicgrace S3 Air, it makes sense. Yeah, this is still very comfortable, but it's just like pressure everywhere. Not bad. I'm just saying that it holds it all very tightly, so that's why this might be better for more intensive games. But the S3 Air is so good for everything else. So yeah, I already recommend the S3 Air, and I'm sure that the S3 Pro is going to be amazing. So I'm just gonna go and test the S3 Air for a few days, because I gotta use the battery for it. So we'll see how the battery holds up, and I'll let you know just what I think about the battery and the overall, if there's a big difference with the S3 Air, which I don't think that there will be, except for when you put on the battery, because the overall design is the same thing basically. So everything else is the same. The only difference is this back portion. So I'll let you know for sure if there's any differences. So for you, it's literally the next second. For me, I'll see you guys in a few days. Alright guys, it's been a few days for me, and I'm now back after testing out the S3 Pro from Sonicgrace. This head strap is just amazing. I really recommend the S3 Pro overall. Honestly, I'm going to recommend it more than the S3 Air, and the reason for that is because not only is it a battery head strap, you also have the option to remove the battery, and in this format you still have the S3 Air format, so it's still very light and very comfortable as well. Now obviously you have a couple more notches over here, but you can still use this laying down. It's no problem. It's so comfortable. Again, these head straps are definitely just as good as the Kiwi Design one. It's probably a little bit more comfortable for me when it's just for casual games and applications. But the good thing about this is, to fix that, what I had noticed is once you put in the battery, and I believe that you could put the battery either way. No, you can't. Oh, that's right. So yeah, I didn't realize that there's these gold notches here, which must align with these ones. But once you put the battery in, it actually adds a little bit more support for me. So some more intense games was actually a lot more comfortable with this particular format of the S3 Pro with the battery pack installed. So if you need a little bit more weight on the back, again, you have that option of removing these and taking it out. And unlike the Bubble VR one, where it was just a big brick pulling your head down, as I explained in my review for the Bubble VR head strap, this one here is a good balance because it's throughout the entire back of your head. So it, instead of like just pulling you down in a specific way because all that weight is just straight here, so it'll go down, because it's the weight is entire here, it's going around your head, so it's a lot more evenly distributed, so it doesn't feel like a huge uncomfortable weight on the back of your head. So I 100% do recommend this. This is the best charging head strap that I've used so far. Again, I'm still excited to get Kiwi's K4 head strap, and right now actually they just announced the K4 Pro or Boost, I think is what it's called. So they just announced a new charging head strap for the K4, which I wish it was the single point charging head strap for the K4 for Kiwi Designs, but it's just a regular one for now. Hopefully they get the single point one soon, because that's easier to use it with their charging dock that I showed earlier. But yeah, this though is fantastic. My only complaints so far in regards to it, and again, before I even go into that, just to say all the good things, this is really well distributed. It does not add extra weight. It doesn't feel like there's extra weight really pulling your head back. It feels like it's more balanced. You do have the option to keep the battery pack on or off, so you can have a S3 Air format or the S3 Pro format just by removing the battery or putting it on. The magnets are very strong as well, and it charges really quickly. They do say it's about 80,000 milliamp hours, so I was able to use this for a long time with it charging. Like my headset battery was about to die out, and then I just plugged it in with it charged, and I was still able to play it. And I played for maybe another, I'm trying to remember exactly how long this was, another maybe like 40, 50, no, not 50. I know it was not 50. It was probably another 35 minutes I was able to play for it with this on in one of my testings. And from about to die, within about 35 minutes, I got it about a quarter of the way charged. So it does charge it pretty quickly. And there was still a lot of batteries when I plugged it in or checked the battery pack, and then charging it as well. It just works so well and pretty quick. So yeah, the 80,000 milliamp hours is actually pretty cool for this. So I do definitely recommend it, and yes, it does definitely charge the head strap pretty well. And the reason why I keep saying 80,000 milliamp hours is not just because it is long and a lot, but also because in one of my reviews, I believe it was for the Yogi's VR head strap, someone made a comment and they said that they spent the entire video watching and I didn't even talk about the milliamp hours when I did. And I mentioned that in the comment as well. So just trying to make it clear, Sonicgrace says that it's about 80,000 milliamp hours for this particular charging head strap. Yeah, other than that though, it is really good, comfortable, a lot better than the regular S3 Air for more intense games. Honestly, at that point, it's pretty comparable with the Kiwi Designs regular S3 head strap. So I really like that a lot. And just the fact that this is a removable battery that is covering your entire back of your head, so it's just a lot better. I'm definitely going to put this on at the end so you can see what I mean. But in regards to the bad things, really just the bad thing itself. Oh, one good thing, the notch is still very easy to turn to adjust the the arms even with this on, so I love that. And resting with this as well is very comfortable too. All right, now we can go into the bad things. Again, all of the bad things that I said about the S3 Air is applicable to here, minus the more intense games because the battery pack helps with that. But one other thing that I do want to add that is exclusive just to this. It's the fact of how the strap is. So it is just connected. So if it's playing and I don't need the wire dangling, it's not like, you know, I mean, yeah, you can kind of put it like that if you want, but anything would just make it easily come out because that's just how it is right now. You can try to put it in like this, but then you're kind of putting in a lot of pressure and it just comes out. So you really gotta kind of play around with this to see what is more comfortable for you, because otherwise it's just dangling there. One option is you can just leave it plugged in but without the battery pack, but if you want the extra weight but not charging it, then you gotta figure out how to play around with this. What I've been doing is I've been just grabbing this and kind of just attaching it in between here, just like that. But then that puts a little bit of a pressure right here on the back of your head, just because this is right there. So you do feel that, or you don't need to tuck it in, but just like leave it resting, kind of like that as well. But that would still make it easy to come off later on. And because it's such kind of like a depending how you're gonna put it, it might be a little bit of a tight pull on the wire. Again, it's just my nitpicking with it, and that's really my only complaint about it that's exclusive to just this. I'm just gonna quickly put this on so you can see how it's gonna look. I'm gonna put it without the battery pack first so that you can see what I mean. Okay. And again, it just goes in very well. Oh, wait, why is this turned off? Okay, so it goes in very well. And as you can see here on the back of my head, it's pretty nice and comfortable. I can look around, everything's fine. Again, this dangling is a little bit annoying, so that's what I'm saying. I have to kind of put it in there, but then it's like kind of like a rock in your shoe. You know what I mean? And then for the head strap or the battery pack, it's just very easy. And yeah, see, it doesn't feel like it's that whole weight that the Bubble VR did, because whenever I would put the Bubble VR one, my head would just like go back. Here it's just so like, yes, it goes back a tiny bit if you can take a look, but it's very, very little, and it doesn't feel like there is a lot of weight being put on it. So I love it basically. But yeah, guys, I do recommend this particular head strap. If you have to pick either between the S3 Air or the S3 Pro from Sonicgrace, I recommend get the Pro. I do have affiliate links in the description for these. They're both 10% off for a limited time. I'll put the time frame there in the code, or not the code, in the description as well with the link, with the code that you can put at the checkout. So you can get 10% off for either of these, and it will also help me out if you do use those affiliate links. Now for the S3 Pro, it is $47. I do think it is worth it. I really, really do. It lasts a long time with the battery, and it's great. The S3 Air is $23, and honestly, that's pretty good too. If you don't want a battery pack, then you can definitely go with the S3 Air. For $23, it's really worth it. It's very comfortable, and it's great. Now, in regards to how it compares to Kiwi Designs, again, yes, this is a sponsored video, and I'm being honest with everything that I'm saying. Like I said, this is still as good as Kiwi Design, and I know I was saying earlier that it might be better than Kiwi Design, or sorry, I said that it is better than Kiwi Design. except for high intensity games. But now that this here is here, it's just as comparable with Kiwi Design. So if you want a little bit more of a pressure, Kiwi Design will be good. But if you want something that is a lot more comfortable, in the sense of holding your head a lot better without feeling like you have pressure everywhere, then Sonicgrace is really good. I'm not saying that Kiwi Design puts pressure like that it hurts. I'm just saying that it feels more like you have a helmet on, whereas with this it just feels a lot lighter. That's all I mean. It's not a bad thing with Kiwi Designs. Again, I love Kiwi Designs. I'm so excited for their new head straps. So I'm not trash talking. I'm just saying how the difference is between the two. Both are super comfortable. It's just for me, because I got a small head and I do have to put the head strap a lot closer, or the headset a lot closer. Not feeling like there's a helmet on is a little bit better, just for how my head is, but I still feel super comfortable with the Kiwi Design. So again, either one of these headsets work for you, or at least for me. So I really recommend Sonicgrace and Kiwi Design still, because they're just both equally as good. It really depends on what you would be preferring and how your head shape is as well, and how sensitive you are with pressure, and all of that basically. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. I say that in almost every video, but that's because I make these videos a lot late, close to midnight, so, and then I still have more things to do. But anyway, I know that I'm making a lot of videos on the Quest 3 on this channel. This channel isn't about the Quest 3, it's about arts and the things that I love with the arts, such as movies, video games, music, things like that, and my own arts as well, which I will be releasing something very soon, which I'm very excited for. So I really hope you guys watch that. But that, as I mentioned, includes video games. And the reason why I also am making a lot of Quest 3 videos here is because this is something that is a lot more personalized than buying a Nintendo Switch or PlayStation 5 or a computer, because this is something that you kind of buy, and yes, you can do good with the stock, but then there's the art format of it, where it's, you know, all these companies work together to make something that can be improving this on so much more. And also just because I want to see the best accessories that I can get that makes it the most comfortable for me. So, you know, for me, doing that is very important, because this is a very personalized item, and that goes into the art element of it as well. Not saying that the Nintendo Switch or PS5 can't be personalized. Of course you can, but this here is a little bit more because of just the nature of the headset itself. For example, I bought this shell here to protect this, and then it also has tempered glass screen protectors for the cameras that I just bought recently as well. These came in a set. I bought a little nose guard over here. I'm not sure if you can see that. So that's the attachment over there. I bought a silicone strap for that as well. And then really just the head straps is what we need to see which is the best. Again, Kiwi Designs and now Sonicgrace for me are the best. These two are amazing. So I really recommend all of these accessories. And again, a lot of these head strap videos too, and a couple of other products are sponsored as well. So that also helps me, and also helps me explain to you guys how these things are as well. That's another reason why I'm also doing a little bit more Quest 3 videos than a couple other videos as well, because of the sponsors that they reach out to me to review as well. So you know, it's good, and that way I can be really honest about the products as well. So yeah, guys, this is fantastic. There's a 10% coupon for both the S3 Pro and the S3 Air in the description. But yeah, guys, so if you want to see, you know, any of my other Quest 3 videos, definitely take a look at them in the channel. If you have any questions about this particular head strap or the S3 Air or any of the head straps for the Quest 3 or any of the products, please put it on the comments. I'll respond to as many of them as I can. Yeah, just it means a lot to me for those of you that watch this video, so thank you. Um, on top of that as well, I am sorry that the Quest 3 is actually turned off. As you guys saw when I put it on, it wasn't turned on. That's because I had turned it off last night and I forgot to turn it on before I started recording the video. So I do apologize for that. But yes, everything about this particular hair strap is amazing, so I definitely recommend it. If you have questions, let me know. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please stay tuned for a big project that I'm about to release in a few weeks. It's basically all ready. I just have to publish and finish typing in information in the description and all of that. But it is something that I'm very excited for. It's something I've been working a very, very long time for. So yes, I'm just excited to get this out because that is the whole point of the channel, which is talking about the things that I love, but also doing something that I love with the arts. And I'm just super excited for that. So rate, comment, subscribe. I'm sorry that this whole video was really long. I talk a lot, and I had to review 2 particular head straps. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. So with all that said, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night, everyone.